All right, we are live. Welcome to the Keeping It Real Conversations with Sunshine show. I am your host, Camila, aka Sunshine. Please, we are live on Facebook. We are live on Spotify. We are live on GrooveRadioDetroit.com. We are live on YouTube. So if you have not subscribed to these things, please do so. Please like and share. It is very, very important. One of the things that I have been adamant about is I believe in 6 degrees of separation. You are one person away, one advice away, one help away from where you need to be in your destiny. It has been proven over and over again that it is what it is. We have to connect. We have to let people know what we need. In order for us to go further, we have to advance that. And I am so grateful. When I tell you, I am beyond grateful. So I'm trying to open up the Facebook page so everyone can start seeing it. I don't know why. Can you see it on Facebook?
Um, let me see. Let me turn my Facebook. I'm on Facebook. Oh, okay. Let's see. Should be coming up. Mm,
I don't see that it's showing that it's live.
Yeah, let me get just logging in here. No, I don't see it either.
Okay, what is going on here? Give me just a second. It's live. It's still showing it's sending data. I'm not sure what that's about. So right now we just gonna go for
Okay.
I'm not sure what in the world is going on here. But I have my friends who is my fellow model sister. This is where I met her at. I always guys let you know how I know the person. And we auditioned together.
Yeah, we did.
Yes, we walked the last fashion show that Latricia Johnson had. And when I tell you, I had a ball.
It was a real good show. It was really
It
good.
really was.
Liked it. Lots of fun.
Yes, absolutely. And so I have her bio here. One of the main reasons that we were here, she inboxed me like, sis, I need to come on your show. We need to do an awareness. Was it this month? Is the
Yeah,
awareness? Okay.
this month is Human Trafficking Awareness Month. So
Okay. So she said, well, I need to come on your show so we can talk about this and awareness of human trafficking. And I do apologize for being late. My mom had minor surgery today, so I had to make sure mom was together. So I'm a little late, so please forgive me. But
yes, okay.
Kenitha is the CEO and founder of Warrior Women on a Mission.
Mhm.
We bring the awareness about human trafficking. We bring the awareness about human trafficking for at least 5 years now.
Yep.
Uh, However,
Mhm.
for that, she led a group of women to Vista Maria.
Yeah, Vista Maria is an organization in Dearborn Heights that has victims of human trafficking, like teenagers. hmm
Okay. She said she would go down there to minister to them and give the girls the night, give them snacks. And her passion is for helping women love themselves. Also, Warrior Women on a Mission are on Facebook, and Warrior Women on a Mission.com is where you can connect with them. So, welcome to the show, Kenitha.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, so next month will be 5 years. On Valentine's Day. It's kind of interesting, but it'll be 5 years for this organization that we've been bringing the awareness.
So with this is a very not historical, but a conversation that um has really been hitting in the last couple of years, really have been hitting the news, really hitting
Yes.
different areas. I know a couple of pastors here that go out into the communities doing awareness himself, walking the streets about human trafficking. Not too long ago, when I was working at a particular place in Warren, was one of the biggest busts of human trafficking in Warren, Michigan.
Oh wow. I
And
heard of
that was
something
in
like
the
that.
last maybe year and a half. And
Mm-hmm.
so again, sometimes we don't pay attention that is right in our backyards. And
Yeah.
now that we're here, we're gonna really talk about human trafficking. I know a couple of people who actually survived being a part of
Mm,
human trafficking. So,
yeah.
what was your? Was there a personal interest for you to get into human trafficking?
Well, for me, it came when I was in ministry, working in ministry as a women's leader at the former church I was at, and
Mm-hmm.
a mission pastor actually introduced it to the church. I never forget the movie. I still agree for people to see it. It's called "Nefarious Merchants of Souls," which is shows the global world of sex trafficking, and it was just interesting how this kind of world was here and we didn't really know about it too much. We just always thought of it prostitution, but it's more of a it's not a person, it's more of a slavery thing. And slavery is still here in the world today. We thought it was done in 1864, but it really is not. But one of the biggest facts that they say, if they had knew about this kind of slavery, they'd have done this one more quicker than they had done the one that we always know about, because it makes much more money. And I always think about, like, we probably would have never hardly been over here then if they had done this one compared to the one that we know about as African Americans,
Mm-hmm.
around the world. Because this one, you can always resell a person, and especially a young person. And even though they did that then, but this one you can sell based off of sex, and there's labor trafficking. Like I said, there's three types of trafficking. There's labor trafficking, there's sex trafficking, there's organ trafficking. So
Okay.
it's not just the sex trafficking that comes out about it. But what got me the most, and Lord laid it on my heart, was like, this is the field I want you, the mission I want you to go into, because I was still trying to find what kind of mission to be in. And
Mm-hmm.
this was the one that struck out to me. And what I found out the most, even when I used to do work at Vista Maria, I found out how many girls was just brokenhearted, not just from trafficking, but just downtrodden prior. You
Mm-hmm.
know, they were sexually abused, they were always hurt, or they was the one nobody wanted. So it was always about them not liking themselves, and traffickers target that. I'm sorry if I'm going ahead, but that's how it goes. They target people that are easy to get, people who are lonely, people who need food, people who need stuff. It's always the needs. If they need the attention, if they need love and they're not getting love at home,
Mm-hmm.
that's what traffickers target the most. And it's happening, as like I said, every 30 seconds a person is being trafficked. And how long we've been on here?
Right.
We still ain't finished. So excuse me, by the end of this, how many people?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
It's gonna be a lot. I'm hoping that more people will add on. Of course, those who are on live. I'm trying to get the Facebook to go live. I'm not sure what in the world is going on with it.
Yeah,
But I
Facebook.
want everybody to like and share, and really, because again, the bigger picture of it, it could be one of us.
And exactly, that is the thing I was actually coming to talk about, because we all can be targets. We're not
Mhm.
just it's not just, okay, it's teenagers, kids, and no, it's anybody can be targeted. as
Mm-hmm.
a target of trafficking now. So I can just say being a single woman and just on dating apps, how I get approached. Literally, and they're constantly, and they be like, they'll talk to you for a minute real good, and then they want to go to some other app and talk to you. Why can't we talk on this one or talk somewhere on the phone? And they'll just all of a sudden, to be honest, they'll start and you hold a conversation with them, then they'll start sending naked pictures.
Mm.
Or they'll ask you to send naked pictures. No, thank you, I'm not doing it. So they'll be sending pictures, or they'll like ask you to send them, and then they'll even I've actually one time when the pandemic first started, girl. Let me just say this. I saw so many men's genitals sending me stuff like it wasn't funny.
Mm-hmm.
Just showing them. So can you imagine if they did that to a teenager
Right.
or a child? That would be alluring, or kind of, especially if they're a person who's not really, loved at home or know about stuff. That
So let
teen.
me ask this. Let me ask this.
Mhm.
So before there was any type of literature, commercials, movies, any of these things, in my mind, I thought most human trafficking came from truck driving areas, right?
Mhm.
That was my assumption.
Oh,
But lo and behold, a lot of the girls and guys that were taken were right in broad daylight and
yes.
neighborhoods, parking lots, not
Malls.
just your alleys or things like that where you could just be snatched up, but they were doing it in right in there in the whole sense. Matter of fact, there were one lady that she got saved. She was a post office person,
Mhm.
and they had the ring cam on the porch,
Yeah.
and they caught the person because they saw them coming down the street in the van trying to solicit her, and
Mm.
her getting away. They caught the license plates and stuff off the ring cam,
Mm.
and they were actually trying to snatch her up.
Wow. So, and see, that's what I'm saying. They can allure. They know how to allure, know how to talk. They love working with technology. You know how technology, especially during the pandemic, forget it. Technology done jumped up. We all home screen. We probably would have been in person with this type of interview at a desk. But now we're doing it online. And they're using that technology to allure women, children. That they use that. That's their biggest key. So technology is not like before we can just grab. Oh, we can just allure them to this and then grab them. But then there have been cases where literally not just through the social media aspect, but there have been issues where parents have sold their kids out. So it's not just always oh, the trafficker grabbing up somebody. They can know somebody. They can be on drugs themselves or whatever. Well, and they'll sell their child right on out.
So on the average, now that I believe they have a task force just for human trafficking, on the average, if a person is actually snatched or kidnapped, what
Hmm.
is the time frame where they actually can be found again, or it's just a wrap?
24 to 72 hours. So you got 2 to 3 days, because once they get lost in the world of human trafficking, there's a possibility you might not get them back, because they're gonna
Mm.
keep going through different transitions. Because what the word trafficking means is movement, so they're constantly moving them. So if you think they may be in this state, they might be in another state by the time you get there. That's how the whole thing goes. Because what was that? Because if you are in another country, or in another country now, some countries allow prostitution. So guess what? If you go to another country and say, I'm going to talk to the police here about prostitution, well, you're not going to really do that because it's legal.
Right, right, right.
Country.
Okay.
Vice versa, ones that come over here don't really know the language or just don't know the system, what will be like, okay, prostitution must be okay. But
Mm-hmm.
and then they won't know that, no, you have rights. You know this is not okay. So
So
that's like
what about what you have said before? that there was three different types of trafficking, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have been hearing about like the black market for years,
Mm-hmm.
and we're not necessarily, excuse me, thinking that hey, somebody's being snatched to get these organs.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, I'm fine with organ donor, because they need them. But sometimes, even if you ain't an organ donor, they know how to get them from a person. So it's always good to be careful who you meet online, who they are. It's very, because we just don't know who is with what or what their intentions really are. So
Uh-huh.
it's just good to always watch as well as pray about this.
So it's so many things with human trafficking. Of course, awareness of your surroundings.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes lately, and I am guilty of it, and I need to do better. Is my phone is my attention. So when I'm out and I'm not paying attention to my surroundings, I could easily be a target because again, I'm focusing on playing a game on my phone, um, doing text messages that I'm not paying attention to where I am. Anybody could like walk up, like we're sitting in the car, doors
Mm-hmm.
are open or not locked. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so, what are some things that people need to be aware of when it comes to human trafficking?
So, like you said, be aware of your surroundings. I know digital technology has gotten us all, we're all guilty of looking at the phone, but just look around. If you see something suspicious, call like, oh, that looks suspicious. Why does that girl doesn't have a purse and some guy has it? That's a red flag. Or why is it if you come up to a person, you're not saying tattoos is bad, and you see an unusual tattoo that just doesn't look right, like a barcode or a certain funny name or something. That's something to look for. Like, why is that person? Why are they not making eye contact? That's one of the things that see of victims. For our own self, sometimes the people come up and ask for stuff that's unusual. Okay, I mean, why are they asking us? Or, not saying you shouldn't help people or not, because there are a lot. The thing is, there are a lot of people that need help that can. But what I do when I have people like that, because I work at Wayne Metro, and I always say, "Oh, here you can go here and get this, or here you can go there and get this." And some people will take it, and some will not because they're up to something else. So
Okay.
that's a key. Or just say, I know this. Make sure your doors is locked. Like I've always had my doors locked when a person comes up and asks for money from the window. I always have it locked, and I always have the window cracked. Like, okay, what does you need? Okay, if I don't feel comfortable, I'm going on ahead. You know, and like I said, especially one big thing is if you out in a rural area or just out in the area by yourself, and somebody come up like that, you got a stop sign. Definitely keep your window up, more more so, because if you're not in something like that, when there's a lot of cars around, they're not gonna really come around when there's a lot of cars around. That's a lot of people to see something. So I would say keep that in mind.
What about the areas of like the abandoned, like especially they have gotten so slick with the parking lot snatching.
Oh yeah, parking lot
You wouldn't
snatch.
even think because there are people around that people will even attempt to do that. But
Hmm.
that is becoming more and more prevalent of snatching right in broad daylight.
Hmm. And the thing is, they sometimes have already allured the person, and they kind of, sometimes they do, not all the time, but they've already allured that person kind of, and they just grab them. And sometimes they do just grab a person. They'll target. Oh, I see this person. I think I want that person. Just like slavery. So you just see me and you want to grab me and sell me out. Okay, wait a minute, hold up. And so some people, sometimes when that happens, they've already allured, or if they haven't allured, they just grab up right out. And actually, it was an incident in Target not long ago, about a couple of years ago, where this person had did that, but the cop had a person undercover, and they had noticed the car kept riding around all the time, the same car. Not no different car, like riding around to get somebody to leave. This car was riding around and it grabbed this girl as soon as she opened her van or something. They kind of had her cornered. And they tried to grab her, but the cop was not that far, and they surrounded that car and got him. But it had been going on for some time. A person had been doing that, and they couldn't catch him. So now I've noticed in parking lots, they have cameras, especially at places like that, up where the light poles is at.
Okay.
And they have a camera on the pole lower where we can see, because I've seen it multiple times at Target I'm near, and I'm like, oh, they got that now. Okay, all right. It's not just a security car riding around. They got everything. If they don't get it, we got all this information. So they got it like,
Yeah. The person, what they look like, the description of the car, and when it's lower, you can actually see the actual event take place, as well as the back of the car with the
so
license plate.
they have. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And this is a good stance. I don't want us to be in a place where we're always backfilling, trying to catch up when, we don't know the exact amount of people, not just women. They're kidnapping kids, they're kidnapping men. And of course, the goal is, of course, whoever is contracted out, they have an assignment of, oh, I need X amount of women that's this age, this, whatever, and they're looking for a specific person. What does it look like after, for God hoping that these women, these people are actually brought back? What does that part look like?
So when they're rescued, because we worked with victims who were rescued out of human trafficking or came to the state of foster care, whatever. One of the things is that they can be in a cycle. So they can get rescued, but they can go back into that. So they can be like brainwashed to do that, and they can go right back out there and start prostituting themselves again and get caught up with probably another pimp or somebody else. And so it's about breaking the cycle. That's the big problem. Because one thing we learned when we were there was not just the girls' self-hatred of themselves, but a lot of them were manipulators.
Right.
So they had to do that in order to survive when they were being trafficked. So they would manipulate each other or try to manipulate us to get snacks. That's why sometimes I just threw it all out there. Like, oh, hey, don't even fight over it right now. And there was a lot of girls that would do that. So it's about.
So you're saying like it could be a girl that was actually snatched up, helping the people that snatched the people up to allure the other girls to be like, okay, what?
Yeah, it's a whole. I'll be on here all night with you, but it's a whole system. That's why I tell people to go to take my seminar, because I'll go for it. We're gonna go all deep. But what I will say is that it's like they call it what is that? What is that they call when a person is hold with a person for so long, and then all of a sudden they like the Stockholm syndrome.
Like the person that was raped before end up falling in love with the person that raped them.
Yeah, so it's like the Stockholm syndrome, and they can go back and forth, in that type of system. So it's always something that they're looking into even more. One of the first things I believe that's the biggest thing, and I'm so glad us as models are doing this, is showing to love yourself and your body. That's because a lot of them they hate who they are. They don't love their bodies. They are feeling rejected. They feel there's no other hope but to go back to the way they would happen to them.
Yeah.
And some of them who do get out, there are a lot of them who have survived. And it took a lot of time. It took really God and a lot of love from people and organizations that like Miss Maria and other ones. And even there's another one called Exodus Foundation that actually help women who are victims of domestic violence and human trafficking. And it's about getting them to a safe place and also training them to have a life, to have a workforce. So it's about doing that, because those victims will come out We say, okay, we want to go rescue them. Yes, that's fine. But some of them are going to go back because it's a cycle and it's about breaking the cycle that they're trying to break. And we're all trying to break that because they will have them back out there and then they'll start being recruiters probably themselves. So it's a mental problem system as well as an emotional one. So it's all in there.
That would make sense. I know I've seen a couple of movies. I can't name them offhand right now, but I know I saw a couple of them. You know, where the woman, she might have been running away from something, and another female befriends her, and
Mhm.
voila, they get snatched up. And you're looking at a room full of other people that have similar stories, trying to get back to the States. And
Yeah.
the
Hmm.
life is like, from the movie that I saw, it was they drugged them.
Yes, they do. There's a lot of drugging going on.
They don't feed them.
Not that you know what they really don't that much feed them, which I think is kind of stupid. But if you want people to work, don't you want them to? A lot of times I was looking at something right now. I'm looking at that it's called a lot of times why victims stay is trauma bondage. So they can
Okay.
be strong emotional attachment. The person could have helped them when they were getting really beat up at home or foster care and they run away. And then their fear, their life is being threatened, and they can say, okay, you get out of here, we're going to kill your family, we're going to kill.
Right, right, right.
So that's something that keeps people. And then a lack of awareness, not knowing that this is wrong, not knowing if you tell, you can actually, especially in the county of Washington, you can actually, they won't prosecute the victim, they'll prosecute the person that trafficked them. That's something that's came into the that's brand new. And there's more help for victims in the state of Michigan that has pushed in for helping victims, get their identification card so they have some identity. So it's a lot of resources we just got to look at in there that is slowly coming up in the last 5 years. We had, so it's working, and we're slowly getting victims out and slowly awareing. That's why I aware, so we don't get caught up and then have to worry about all this. But I always watch when there's young people who got some emotional issues like that. Because what traffickers do, they beat them and rape them once they get them. So they put them into this fear, and then they
Right.
have to identify. They have to actually put the real person, their real identity away, and come up with this other identity in order to survive this
Yes.
trauma. So, and then when they get out, that's like all they know. And then people gotta be like, no, you're out of this. You're okay. You're safe. He's in jail. He's gone. We're starting over, and it's just a lot of emotional scars that are there.
Yeah, and I believe in this movie, it was all those different things that we fear
Hmm.
when it comes to um standing up for yourself. So there was the moments where they got beat, where
Hmm.
their self-esteem or their will was broken.
Hmm.
Basically, hush, don't say nothing, don't look, I'm in my own little world trying to figure out how I'm gonna survive this until
Hmm.
I can be free, until I have that breakout moment where I can run away, or um those type of things. And so again, we want to make people aware that these things are real. This is not just a movie.
Hmm.
I know a couple of people personally who were victims of human trafficking, and it took them a minute to get back to some type of reality for them, that standing up for themselves, being by themselves,
Hmm.
looking over their shoulder, all of these things to get back into some type of normalcy after being a victim of this. This
Yeah.
is a very serious topic. I have been talking to people all day about um, this conversation because again, is not new, but within
Hmm.
the last couple of years, you're hearing more of the stories.
Yeah.
It's
Well, It's becoming more of a frequent problem, and I wanted to say this with, you know, I always say this for kids and teens. Traffickers are not going to bother kids and teens that act like a crazy person. I would
Okay.
say they try to kidnap you, act like a fool, act scream, act crazy, act like you the crazy kid on the block. You know, just act go nuts, and they'll be like, "That child, that kid, that what's going on?" I always say, like they used to say from Home Alone, you know how he would scream and everybody started looking, then do that, act crazy because they want to hurry up and snatch and go. They don't want to be
Yeah.
standing out there embarrassed and grabbing you. Even us as women, you know, if we cutting up, clown and carrying on, they gonna be like, "What are they doing over there?" You know, they gonna call the police or something. Something's gonna happen. You
What
know,
about the other thing? There was also this point that was brought up um with the date drugs.
yeah,
Um in the clubs,
yes,
we
that's a
all
big
knew the rule. This is the thing that I was passed down to me was even if you ever go into a club scene, never put your drink down,
hmm
never turn away from it. Um, be with your person at all times. Don't
hmm
wander off. And if you came with girlfriends, you leaving with girlfriends. You're not leaving with one person that you just met. So that
Yeah.
was the unsaid said rule. Period.
hmm
So what is the percentage of girl people in human trafficking when it comes to date drugs?
A lot of girls get caught up in all that partying and going out. I'm not saying nothing wrong going to the party or anything or having a drink or whatever. People do what they want to do, but I've always been very leery, just like you. Don't leave your drink unattended, you know, or just if you leave it unattended, come back and get another one or another drink or something. I don't leave that unattended, but what I will say is to watch. You know, I one thing I would say this when a person is coming at you too much, is I always think now because I've ran across some dudes that was guys coming at me too much, like determined to get my number, even though nothing happened like trafficking or nothing, but they were too determined. And I'm not saying determination is not bad, but sometimes if they're just determined, like I'm kind of wondering because I've ran into cases where they determine and all it is they just want sex, or
Mm-hmm.
all it is when are we gonna do? When we're gonna have sex or something, or you know, do you have any money? Okay, no, wait a minute, hold up, you know. So that's how traffickers probably would be, maybe in a different sense, and be like, you know, oh, this person really nice, and they can because they come on really good. They can put up an
Yeah.
act. They ain't stupid. They can put up an act and act like they really I done found my queen. And you know, you could we as women we're single, a lot of us, and we could fall for that. And oh, I'm grown, I'm not no teenager. But don't leave, what am I say? That's what I say. You know, stay always in a public place. You know, if they constantly want to be somewhere else, kind of like, okay, I want to be public because I really don't know you. I'm trying to let's learn each other first. And sometimes they don't want to go through that because that's too long. Actually, I was talking to a guy one time who was determined to give me one of my phone numbers. So when we talked on the phone, he was first going to come to my house and pick me up, but he wound up wanted me to come over there, and I said, and he said, "Oh, just knock on the door, and they know you coming, and I'll be there waiting, and we can go somewhere." Why would I want to drive my car up over there and go up there? So, just something that right? And so I didn't go. I said, "Well, I guess can we meet someplace publicly?" Didn't want to meet publicly, you know. So some, you know, red flags. I'm wrong. I move right along. Thank you, and I haven't heard from him since.
Right. So again, we're talking about human trafficking um, from the standpoints of the main thing awareness. This is not a game. Some people did not make it back. Some people are still lost this to this day.
Mm-hmm.
And they have their reasoning for why they snatched them. It could be for prostitution. It could be for their organs. It could be any reason
Mm-hmm. Well, because
for
late.
this,
Oh, sorry.
but we don't want to put a age limit on it because it's not.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
There's we can't say that it has anything to do with our races. Um, None of that. At the end of the day, we want you guys to be aware when you step foot out of your house. There's always, look inside. Sometimes I even look on the side of my house, because where I park, um, and having, cameras, the ring door with the cameras, all of these things to make sure that you are safe. And this is where we're having this conversation. The world is what the world is, but at the end of the day, we still have accountability to ourselves to make sure that we're safe, doing all that we can and all that we know to make sure that our brothers and sisters are safe as well.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, my husband gets on me all the time about being so independent that I can go and do whatever I want by myself. But there comes a time when you still have to be aware of your surroundings, where you're going. I check in a lot, not because my husband is insecure or I'm insecure, is making sure if anything was to happen, they know the last place I said or was contacted in those moments.
Mm-hmm. And that's a very important thing is to when check in and all where you're at. Hey, we made it to the event. We made it here, or we leaving the event. My aunt always does it, and so does my model sisters. When I leave, when we model together, make sure you get home safe. Let us know. That's a good thing because if we say, "Hey, we made it home," and they say, "Oh, so and so missing," well, now they just text me that they made it home. So what happened between them made it home and not there no more. You know what I'm saying? It's a track. Two more things I want to say is that labor trafficking is another big one that people don't really know, and it's hard to identify more than sex trafficking. It's kind of out there. Everybody know they prostitute. Well, labor trafficking, it's really a hard one that is being detected a lot, especially during the pandemic. So it's like they can work long, little for little or no pay, and they don't have no benefits a lot of times. They don't have nothing that's backing them. They can live in crowded areas. And then they got to work to almost to get their passport, especially foreign people. That one is a crazy one that they're looking into a little bit more now because we identified the organ trafficking, we identified the sex trafficking, but the labor trafficking is the hardest one that we're trying to identify because they can be anywhere. They can not just be in small businesses; they can be in major businesses. People want to save money, you know.
So that's like, maybe those who want to work for a visa want to get from like a foreign country to here,
Hmm.
or are you finding that labor things are actually in the United States?
It's both. So we find it mostly what we used to pick up mostly was that it was people coming into the United States as one of the major ones, which still is. However, though, there have been cases where people have been in the United States and have worked with little or no pay. Now we're not talking about the sign the volunteer sheet. We ain't talking about that. That or the AmeriCorps or the Peace Corps. We ain't talking about them. They actually licensed by the government, National Service Committee. So they cover you and they cover all of your child care and everything like that. These do not, and so it's becoming illegal if your business does not have some insurance or offer insurance or doesn't let a person take off. That's a sign of labor trafficking, and they can be charged. I know that's going on in Washington County. I have an event coming up next month. That's gonna, I mean, not next month, Monday. Excuse me, I'm already next month. That's gonna we're gonna have the prosecutor on there to talk about that a little bit more. So be on the lookout for that. Um, One of the last things I would say is when Black women, Native American women, Hispanic women, Asian women, we go missing, they do not report us. They do not report us. We have to report each other.
Wait, what?
They do. I'm sorry to say this, but it's real. They do not report us. We have to, like with the missing thing, we have to kind of do it through social media ourselves. The nation will not do it, and it's been something pushing to actually. Why are we not being when we go missing? Nobody say nothing. Or if you go
I'm
missing, oh,
glad. I'm glad you brought that up. So right now in the city of Detroit, there is a young lady. I want to say she is she's a teenager. Let me see if I can find her. She's missing right now. Her name is Zion Foster. If you are friends with me on Facebook, I have put out the flyer that has been going out. Currently, let me see if I can find it while I'm on here. I don't even, the fact that I don't even know who it came from, just the fact that I've seen this and I shared it for the simple fact that that could be one of our, it doesn't even matter. She's missing and we need
Yes.
to find her. Um and so I want to go to my page now to find the flyer, and I didn't even know that we're not being reported. Matter of
Not.
fact, this is Zion Foster. She's been missing for 12 days. And I put the picture of her, what's out on Facebook right now. She has was last seen on Tuesday, January 4th, wearing a DWC uniform. They gave her the call 911, the phone numbers. She's 17 years old. I want to see if you guys can see a picture of her.
Yeah, I shared it on my Facebook and on our Facebook page, Word Woman's Facebook page.
So
Yeah.
as the world, as people who have a platform that has something to say, this young lady is missing. Anyone else that are missing, I don't know what the parameters are or whatever. At the end of the day, I want her to be found healthy, nothing missing, nothing broken. We want her to be safe and brought home back to her family. That could be one
Yes.
of our sisters, that could be one of our cousins, our neighbors. It doesn't matter who she belongs to, she's missing. And the simple fact that we're talking about human trafficking tonight was another reason why I wanted to put her picture out here for the world to see her face. It was too many instances where we are out, might have been walking home from school. I don't know the gist of it. It does not matter. She's not at home, and we need her to be brought back home. So, again, Kenitha, you have brought out a lot of things that we sometimes put in the air. We talk over it, and we don't never really talk about it until it happens to you, until it happens to someone in our family. We want to change the narrative about all of this stuff because at the end of the day, we always want to be proactive before we want to react. So if we have the information, this is why we have this. It will help us to understand what to look for, what to do when things happen like this. Is there help out here? Is there somebody that I could talk to about, hey, I seen this van keep running around here, not run, but drive around here. What's going on? Do I say that to the police? Whatever the case may be, the awareness is out here. Human trafficking is a thing. It is real. And for the simple fact, tonight, we're still looking for Zion Foster, who is 17 years old. And we pray to God that she gets home safe.
Yes, in Jesus' name. And for the human trafficking national human trafficking hotline, if you see anything and you don't want to, please don't approach and get shot, please. But this is what you can do. You can see that the national human trafficking hotline is 1-888-373-7888. This so that's again 1-888-373-7888.
I will put that on a post tonight on Facebook. Excuse me. I know we have said a lot, But it's very important. It is not a joke. Again, we're praying for the safety of all those who have been victims of human trafficking, those who not only survived it, but again, we need everybody to speak up. You see something that's not right, please say something. That you speaking out can save somebody else's life. Period. And for the simple fact, we're praying for Zion Foster to be brought home to her parents. We don't want her to be a part of anything negative. And we pray and we cover her with the blood. God, I ask that you bring her back tonight.
Yes, Lord.
That whoever or whatever has happened, God, that you would bring it to a naught. So again, thank you, Kenitha, for coming in tonight, my model sister, for coming in and talking about this, or actually wanted to come on the show to talk about this. This month is human trafficking awareness, which I did not know. But again, as I always say, the information that is given, most of the time, 9 times out of 10, I'm learning just like you are. So again, thank you for bringing this to my attention. And for all those who are listening, again, please like and share, subscribe to the YouTube channel, get this information out here because we need it. Did you want to say anything else before we get off?
So I want to say thank you, number one, Camila. I'm saying the name wrong. Please help.
Just say Sunshine, honey.
Sunshine. Just thank you because even at the fashion show, we brought a lot of body positivity to a lot of women, and because we could be victims ourselves, even though they think that we can't. Yeah. Like I always say, once they figure out how to throw us in the truck, then it's time to look. So just we always be on the lookout for that. But I also just want to thank everyone here who listened in and take the information out. Just be aware, watch. Please follow us on Facebook at Warrior Woman on a Mission. Because we have an event coming up next Monday, and we will be with we'll have prosecutor Elliot Savit on, and the councilwoman of District 6, Gabrielle Ella of Detroit, the city councilwoman. They're going to be on talking about a lot of things that they're doing to stop human trafficking or help victims of human trafficking. And we're going to have some resources there. We're going to have other women there, Miss Miracle Northern, who works with trauma, Harriet K. Mock, who's Exodus Foundation, who has a shelter. And both of them have shelters, but you don't really hear about them a lot. But they have shelters and they can help these women. So be there. I'll give you the flyer to post up.
Okay. Definitely. Again, thank you guys. My next show right after this is Brittany, and her story is a heart wrencher as well. Trying to fight to get her daughter back from CPS. And so again, tonight was my serious night, but it's very important to me, and to those who are in effect to this. So awareness is everything. So it is my duty, your duty to share this out. And again, my last call, I want everyone to say a prayer to look out for Zion Foster until she is brought home to justice. Okay.
Okay.
And I will see you later.
All right. See you.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.